belonging. For participation, call 0902 739 5555.
NTA Tuesday Live.
He went back a memory lane and highlighted all the support that Nigeria has provided to South Sudan.
Nigeria to assist South Sudan in areas of economic and political stability.
The meeting resolved that governors and all the people of the Southeast do everything within the law to ensure that there is no further seat at home in the Southeast.
Southeast governors and leaders vow to tackle restiveness and activities of IPOB in the region. Plus, World Teachers Day. Nigerian teachers soon to smile as government sets to commence implementation of retirement age new package January 2022. Hello and thank you for joining us on NTA Network News. We're live in Abuja. Ian Ray John Adeola Komiakere will be joining us from our Lagos studio. Welcome. The federal government says it is ready to extend a helping hand to South Sudan towards enhancing the country's political and economic stability. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the assurance while granting audience to the South Sudanese leader, President Salva Kiir, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that the president has since returned to Abuja.
President Muhammadu Buhari said the full support of Nigeria will be given to all efforts towards bringing long-term stability and prosperity to the continent as well as the development of South Sudan. He asked President Salva Kiir to take Nigeria into confidence in his request for assistance, stressing the need for cooperation amongst developing countries. The Nigerian leader said with investments in education, improved economy and healthcare, things will surely improve. On the situation in Guinea and Mali, President Buhari reiterated the need for African leaders to support efforts geared towards the return of democracy in the countries. President Salva Kiir had earlier acknowledged Nigeria's leadership role in Africa, appreciating the country's efforts in the liberation struggle of South Sudan.
He went back a memory lane and highlighted all the support that Nigeria has provided to South Sudan and continues to, and thank Mr. President very much for it. He gave a situation report of not just what's happening in South Sudan but also in Sudan itself, and even the role that he is playing as a mediator now in Sudan, and together they agreed that there was a need to work together to address the security challenges in West Africa and in East and Central Africa. Another point he mentioned was also the role that the First Lady of Nigeria is playing in supporting orphans in South Sudan, and asked Mr. President to extend his thanks to the First Lady for that.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja from Ethiopia, where he attended the inauguration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second term in office. He was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, and the Director General, Department of State Services, Yusuf Magaji Bichi. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has signed a 101 million euros financing bilateral agreement with the Republic of Germany. Nika Uko reports that the funds are various development programs in the country.
The signing agreement is the climax of a two-day government negotiations held virtually between both countries in Abuja and Bonn. Nigeria and Germany have agreed on three core areas of cooperation, namely sustainable economic growth, food security, and renewable energy.
Furthermore, it is pertinent to mention that these various interventions across sectors and the proposed spend align succinctly with this administration's developmental priorities and the ongoing National Development Plan, with the vision to catalyze the potential of the public, private, and social sectors to stimulate industrialization and inclusive growth.
So they agreed on new projects that are focusing on peace building and conflict prevention, stabilization, supporting refugees and also host communities in the northeast, but also in the Little Belt in Nigeria.
The 101 million euros economic cooperation agreement is intended for 2021 and 2022. In Abuja, Nneka Oku, NTA News.
Also, the European Union has granted additional 15 million euros to strengthen its assistance to the Nigerian energy support program towards ensuring an enabling environment for renewable energy and energy efficiency in the country. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
The Nigerian Energy Support Program has been in operation in the country since 2013 for the promotion of investment in Nigeria's domestic markets for renewable energy, energy efficiency, and to improve access to electricity for the disadvantaged, mostly in the rural communities. It is in a bid to ensuring more impact on Nigerians that the co-funders are extending the grants with additional 15 million euro, making a total of 35 million euro, which will take the project to 30th November 2022.
We will continue to prioritize the objectives of renewable energy, climate change, as well as the goal of economic diversification and creation of decent jobs.
Especially when we look into the recycling of waste that comes out of renewable energy sites, and one core area that we want to go deeper into is recycling of batteries.
We are targeting 130,000 Nigerians having access to electricity, and we're talking about people that have never had.
The Nigerian Energy Support Program, in partnership with the German Corporation for International Cooperation, GIZ, is a technical assistance program co-funded by the European Union and the German government in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Power. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
In other news, as part of effort to acquaint the judiciary with the philosophy and thrust of the Petroleum Industry Act, particularly the most contentious areas, the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute, has organized a 2-day workshop for justices and judges in Abuja. Lydia Sampson reports.
The passage of the Petroleum Industry Act is seen as a new reality in the transformation of Nigeria's oil and gas sector. As the industry is transiting to the PI implementation, the workshop with the theme, Petroleum Industry Act, New Legal and Physical Regime in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry, is taking note of the role of justices and judges as critical stakeholders in the implementation. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, expects that given the national and international interest the PIA has generated, the judiciary's dockets will soon be populated by cases on how the law should be operationalized.
The participation and cooperation of every stakeholder is required and actively solicited. The law can have the desired multiplier effect on the economy, investments, infrastructure, employment, the environment and well-being of the citizens only when we all work together.
Consequently, this workshop will bring to the front burner the imperatives for correct judicial interpretation of the Petroleum Industry Act. This would boost the development of our national economy.
For the Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Bello Aliu Gusau, the workshop is to help in the realization of objectives of the PIA while deepening understanding of the art, which overhauls the legal and regulatory framework of the Nigerian petroleum industry, as well as clarifies the rules of engagement for the monetization of the nation's valuable hydrocarbon resources. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
We head to the National Assembly now, where Senate has confirmed the nomination of 5 persons for appointment as Secretary and members of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo brings us details.
PIA implementation
plenary commenced with the presiding officer, the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omar Gege, reading letters from President Muhammadu Buhari. One of the letters seeks Senate consideration of the 2022-2024 revised medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which has increased federal government 2022 aggregate expenditure from 13.98 trillion naira to 16.45 trillion.
The PIA establishes a progressive fiscal framework. This significantly alters the oil and gas fiscal terms and has necessitated changes in the 2022 to 2024 medium-term fiscal framework.
The President is likely going to submit the budget to the National Assembly on Thursday. It is important that these revisions are made.
President Buhari also requested the confirmation of Justice Hussaini Baba Yusuf as Chief Judge for the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. Thereafter, Senate considered the report of each committee on anti-corruption and financial crimes, which screened 5 nominees as secretary and members of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The report presented by the chairman of the committee, Suleiman Abdul Kwari, observed that the committee members were satisfied with the nominees' qualifications and suitability. George Ekungu as secretary, with Lukman Muhammad, Anumba Adeze, Kola Adeshina, and Yahya Muhammad as board members.
The Senate, we wish to recommend that the Senate do confirm the nomination of the underlisted persons.
Senate has passed the Tertiary Hospital Development Fund Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Sani Musa. The bill seeking to amend the compulsory treatment and care for victims of gunshots to expand its scope and establish medical emergencies assistance, sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, passed second reading.
Security agents and persons alike shall render every assistance to persons with gunshot wounds, etc.
If you get a criminal who is injured and you say you won't treat him, let him die. He dies with an information that will have helped the security agencies.
The River Basin Development Authority Act Amendment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ike Ekweremadu, also passed second reading. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And still in the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has adopted a resolution urging authorities to take urgent and drastic measures to combat elements terrorizing people in Anambra State. The House says deployment of security to contain the menace will prevent it from snowballing into a crisis in the entire southeast. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
The issue was raised by Representative Chris Azubogu, who escaped death by the whiskers last week Thursday, but one of his drivers was not as lucky, as he was shot dead following an attack on their convoy along Nnewi-Nobi Road. The House noted recent killing of Dr. Chike Akunyili, husband of late Dora Akunyili, and 8 others in the suburb of Onitsha, including the attack on the DSS and FRSC offices in Nnewi last Sunday, 3rd October 2021.
These killings are probably orchestrated by mischief makers who are bent on causing tension and panic in the state ahead of the upcoming November 6th governorship election in Anambra State.
In another development, Representative Roland Ibakpa, coming on the matter of privilege, has called on the federal government to make public name of the National Assembly member said to be involved in sponsoring terrorism.
The leadership of the House should liaise with their counterpart in the Senate to try and see Mr. President so that he can tell you, 1, the person that is sponsoring terrorism among the 469 members. Then 2, it should go ahead because it has the powers of prosecution to prosecute that person.
At the commencement of plenary, House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila read a presidential communication requesting consideration and approval of the revised medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper 2022 to 2024.
The revision was necessitated by the need to reflect the new fiscal terms in the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, as well as other critical expenditures in the 2022 budget.
3 bills passed second reading. A bill to make provisions for right to food, sponsored by House Chief Whip Mohammed Tahir Mungunu. A bill to establish Food Vendors Data Agency from Yunus Abubakar, and a bill seeking to amend Federal University Ikwo, sponsored by Chinedu Oga.
It is inherently contradictory for the Constitution to guarantee the right to life. On the other hand, woefully fail to provide the right to food.
10 bills passed first reading, including a bill to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act and the Trade Dispute Act. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Time for a first break. Please stay.
The Northeast Development Commission wishes to announce the foundation laying ceremony for the construction of 500 mass housing units, flag off for the distribution of food and non-food items, commissioning and handing over of fully rehabilitated farm setters, tractors and other farm implements, and upgraded fully equipped molecular laboratory at the Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe. Graduation ceremony for the Batch B graduates of the NEDC ICT training program, inspection visit to Gombe Abba Kirfi Road, as well as completed and ongoing projects by the commission in Gombe State. Chief host, His Excellency Alhaji Muhammad Inwa Yahya, Executive Governor Gombe State. Special guest of honor, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Chairman of the occasion, Major General Paul Tarfa, retired Chairman NEDC Governing Board. Host, Muhammad Jal Kali, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, North-East Development Commission. Father of the day, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, Emir of Gombe. Date 6th and 7th October 2021. Venue, Banquet Hall, Common House, Gombe, Gombe State. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Attendance is strictly by invitation in accordance with COVID-19 protocol. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Cause you volatile like the water, and you promise what you don't know. Sometimes it's right and then it's so wrong. Them go do like say them why. We promise you the world. My brother all now worship. Upon all of the open eye, I see no feel water. Like you love the letter.
The Smartphone Network.
The federal government, through NPHCDA, commenced Phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. Special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
The Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General I.M. Yusuf, wishes to inform the general public that the passing out parade of cadets of 68 regular course comes up on 9th October 2021. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. However, 31st convocation ceremony of graduating cadets of 68 regular course and postgraduate students comes up on 7th October 2021. Venue, Academy Auditorium. Time, 8:30 a.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellence Professor Emil Shibanjo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The event is strictly restricted. Announcer, Major Bashir Muhammad Jajara, Academy Public Relations Officer.
The ITF has been a great partner of the Nigerian private sector. They have been a veritable tool in the industrialization of this country.
It has become one of the key federal government institutions
that can be used as a benchmark for others to emulate.
To ensure that the skills agenda becomes government's topmost agenda.
Having had 50 years experience behind ITF, they will be able to lead the process.
You've impacted upon the lives of many, many Nigerians, particularly the young people.
Impacting on the life of women is impacting on the life of the family.
They have trained over 25 million Nigerians in the last 50 years of their establishment.
Keep it up. We look forward to the next 50 years of glory.
I wish them many more years of active service to our country.
ITF has done well. Nigeria is going to do well.
Happy 50th anniversary.
Iheanacho near post and scores.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will look to continue their excellent start to the World Cup qualifiers when they take on Leifove of Central African Republic. Will Leifove pull off a shock on the home soil of the Super Eagles? It's Nigeria versus Central African Republic at the Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of October, showing on the network service of the NTA and AIT from 4:30 p.m. with live radio broadcast on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporty.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles.
Thank you for staying. More than 157 billion naira is lost annually to pension fraud, a development that Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it is determined to eradicate.
Pension fraud is said to have denied many Nigerian retirees the rest they deserve after spending their productive years serving the country. This workshop, organized by the EFCC, is aimed at addressing that, with stakeholders being trained to tackle the issue head-on.
This workshop to enable us to engage with relevant stakeholders and come up with recommendations that the way forward for us in this industry. It's a problem. It's something that is unacceptable.
Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says government is ready to do all it takes to put stop to this menace.
This government is very conscious of its responsibility with regards to payment of pensions to eligible retirees in the federal public sector. For this reason, we are resolute in dealing with the criminal act of pension fraud in all its manifestations, especially those resulting from human interface.
The two-day workshop is expected to set the stage for a holistic approach to ending pension fraud in the country.
And in electoral matters, with barely 1 month to the Anambra governorship election, INEC is worried over the escalating security situation in the state. In order to provide a secured environment for the exercise, the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security is reviewing its strategies. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu is, however, optimistic that no amount of threat will deter the Commission from conducting the election.
The stated goal of many of the attackers is that the governorship election scheduled for the 6th of November 2021 must not hold. This is worrisome for the Commission. We are deeply concerned that specific electoral facilities and materials could once more become targets of attack. We will continue to work with the security agencies and in consultation with respected opinion leaders in Anambra State and the National Peace Committee to ensure that these hit-and-run attacks do not derail the electoral process. We wish to assure the people of Anambra State that the Commission is determined to proceed with the election as scheduled.
I wish to state that the Office of the National Security Advisor is working assiduously with relevant security and intelligence agencies toward arresting the foregoing ugly trend and other associated security challenges in the Southeast Zone and beyond.
Minister of Interior Rauf Arepushala was among those who attended the meeting. The governors and leaders of the Southeast Zone have condemned the sit-at-home order and killings in the zone, resolving to join hands with the security agents to stop the incessant killings and further sit-at-home orders in the Southeast. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of a security meeting by the leaders of the zone in Enugu. Susan Eze has the details.
Rising from the meeting necessitated by the urgent need to salvage the Southeast Zone from the increasing rate of insecurity and disruption of free movement of people and economic activities, the governors and Southeast leaders totally condemned the acts and agreed to support the security agencies to restore peace in the Southeast.
The meeting condemned the sit-at-home orders, which are mostly issued by our people in diaspora who do not feel the pains. In view of the information, the meeting resolved that governors and all the people of the Southeast do everything within the law to ensure that there is no further sit-at-home in the Southeast and that people are allowed to freely move about in the zone. The meeting agreed that Southeast Abuja security outfit be launched in all the Southeast states.
The Southeast governors and leaders also resolved to support the coming election in Anambra State and urged the security agencies to ensure a peaceful election in the state come November 6, 2021. The meeting received the committee reports from the Ohanese Ndibo on various matters affecting the zone and resolved to study them for immediate implementation and engagement with the federal government for amicable settlement of all issues agitating the minds of the people. Commending the religious and other groups for interfacing with the youths, the leaders encouraged the groups to continue to dialogue with the youths in the interest of peace. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And still on security, the Nigerian Army exercise Still Water has commenced in earnest in various zones of the country. Defense correspondent Najato Tijani has an update from 3 states.
From Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo reports that the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army operation, codenamed Stillwater, is aimed at boosting the professional capacity of troops to respond to the peculiar challenges in the area.
Ties will arrest and hand over to law enforcement agencies that are to deal with whatever criminal vices they are arrested or detained for.
We are giving a big notice to any hoodlum, anybody who thought he wants to do any nefarious act.
Similarly, Nigerian Army has commenced the operation in Asaba, Delta State, with the aim of ensuring law and order by combating security threats and crimes within the region.
I commend the Nigerian Army for its thoughtfulness and strategic foresight.
Currently by troops of 63 Brigade and with personnel from paramilitary agencies drawn from various commands.
The growing cases of illegal air pumping, kidnapping, armed robbery, pipeline vandalism, ritual killings, internet fraud and militancy.
From Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, Achibong Bassi reports that 13 Brigade Nigerian Army will focus on field training to foster civil-military relations in the region. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Elsewhere, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has restated federal government's commitment to respond to the critical needs of citizens through interventions. This was while handing over relief materials to Governor Simon Lalong at the 3rd Division of the Nigerian Army, Rukuba. Priscilla Gurumanan reports.
Following the crisis that engulfed some local government areas of Plateau State, President Muhammadu Buhari directed the distribution of relief materials to victims of the crisis through the Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The Minister Sadiya Umar Farouk hands over these units of food and other items such as grains, building materials and beddings to the state government.
You over the unfortunate incidents as well as to hand over these relief items to you for onward distribution to the affected victims of the clashes in the 5 affected local government areas.
This will also go a long way to also reduce some of the pains that we know our people are having. We continue to pray that God will continue to grant them relief. And this relief is not this one. It's the relief of peace, so that they will have peace in their minds and peace within their communities.
Goodwill messages came from the DG NEMA and the Uja and Aguta of Jos North. The minister who inspects the pilot ICT building under the National Social Investment Program at the Obasanjo Model School Jos in Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Member nations of the Lake Chad Basin have been enjoined to accommodate terrorists that are willing to surrender for demobilization, de-radicalization and reintegration program. At the ongoing 3rd meeting of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum holding in Yaoundé, Kazababagana Umar Zulum of Borno State, Nigeria, called for regional holistic approach and collective efforts to establish a sustainable framework to handle the security crisis in the region. Justin Bem Unyi reports.
The insurgency crisis has continued to linger over the years in the Lake Chad region, affecting Nigeria, Cameroon, Niger, and Chad Republic. And according to key players, insurgency now is a major feature of the region, and if not properly managed, will be a threat to the entire West Africa. The sole use of force to curb insurgency has been able to limit the activities of insurgents, but has not been able to entirely bring an end to the incessant menace. As some of these issues have been raised and concerns for the stabilization, peace building and sustainable development of the region take center stage at the ongoing 3rd meeting of the basin's governors. Nigeria's Borno State governor wants a social, economic and political dimension to be applied, not just the kinetic approach.
What we expect from the member nations is that we want them to provide the needed support in receiving those that are willing to surrender at their own end, keeping them for some time and handing over them to the government of Nigeria.
As the progress for the implementation of the regional stabilization strategy in the Lake Chad Basin remains in focus here at the 3rd Governors Forum, there's been a general consensus that more funding from the national government is needed to upskill rebuilding and stability of the most affected communities, which is key.
Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Back home, as part of measures to effectively and efficiently manage public irrigation schemes to enhance agricultural development, key players are meeting in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to establish and strengthen water users associations in the North Central Zone. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya reports that the workshop is at the instance of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources in collaboration with the Lower Niger River Basin Development Authority.
The North Central Regional Workshop on Establishment of Water Users Association for Management of Public Irrigation Schemes is to, among other things, share experiences among irrigation water users. The overall objective of the irrigation workshop is also to, among other things, improve access to irrigation and drainage services that will seek to strengthen institutional arrangements for integrated water resources management as well as agricultural services delivery among farmers in the North Central. The Federal Ministry of Water Resources, according to the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, who joined the workshop virtually, federal government is also bent on realizing the dreams of having one of the best agricultural sectors globally.
This goal is only achievable through irrigated agriculture by promoting all-season farming, which is also one of the primary mandates of the Department of Irrigation and Drainage of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources.
I think Nigeria needs a legislative framework for the establishment, operation, regulation of activities of the Water Users Association.
The scheme is to ensure farmers complete involvement in irrigation from the conceptualization, the planning stage to the implementation, and management level with a view to sustaining it.
At the end of the workshop, farmers and relevant stakeholders in the agricultural sector will be better equipped on how best to boost farming, even without constant rainfall. Ahmed Shaba is a farmer who is optimistic that the workshop will help him become one of the greatest farmers in Nigeria.
You now expose me to other knowledges, technological knowledges on how to utilize water for our planting activities.
7 states from the North Central Zone, namely Kwara, Kogi, Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, Niger, and the Federal Capital Territory participated in the workshop. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
Let's pause here in Abuja and have a feel of the latest in Lagos, where Adiola will guide us.
Thank you, Nyere. An important geopolitical checkpoint for the shipping and transportation of oil extraction in the Niger Delta, as well as goods to and from Central and Southern Africa, is the Gulf of Guinea. This explains why the Nigerian Navy seeks collaboration with Italian and French navies to secure the maritime domain.
The International Maritime Bureau, IMB, says the Gulf of Guinea accounts for 43% of all reported piracy incidents in the first quarter of 2021 compared to the 47 incidents recorded same period of 2020. To further reduce these criminal activities to the barest minimum, the Nigerian Navy is not relenting in ensuring that the country's maritime domain is efficiently and effectively secured. Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Jason Bassa, re-emphasized that the issues surrounding the Gulf of Guinea constitute a threat to international trade and regional peace. He said the joint exercise with the Italian and French navies is an initiative to address the menace.
Knowing the global nature or the effects of these criminalities, we are going to conduct an exercise involving all our assets over 2 days.
In their separate remarks, the Italian and French Consular Generals say the joint exercise is a mutually beneficial one to the countries involved.
It is very important to us, we've had a very long-lasting cooperation with Nigerian Navy, and especially because we have a common goal, which is to fight against insecurity at sea and to make international trade routes secure.
It's a very important cooperation because it helps to save lives, to grow the well-being of our nation.
With this collaboration, the Nigerian Navy will be more equipped and abreast of the needed skills and expertise to combat criminality in the Gulf of Guinea.
In view of recent seizure connected with trade in wildlife, the Nigerian Customs Service is to carry out a DNA test on seized pangolin scales and elephant tusk to ascertain the country of origin. The National Public Relations Officer of the service, Joseph Atta, said this is imperative to intensify its crackdown on illegal wildlife trade. Michael Olaleye reports.
Exactly 2 months ago, pangolin scales, claws and elephant tusks worth 22 billion naira were intercepted and seized by the Customs Strike Force Team Zone A. Just last month, donkey skins close to 12,000 pieces built for export were equally intercepted at their Papa ports. Like a stillborn defiling all medications, the trade in wildlife persists, and this time, More than 1,000 kilograms of pangolin scales and claws, carefully arranged in 15 sacks, were seized along Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun, Lagos. The discovery was not accidental, but a product of credible intelligence in the process of further investigation to arrest other members of gang indicted in the August 4 seizure.
2 suspects have already been arrested in connection with this seizure. They will also be charged to court to answer for their crime.
The customs, no doubt, is receiving support from the wildlife justice system and embassies of USA, UK, and Germany. But stopping the flow of this illicit trade is, however, instilling new ideas.
We have some of our international collaborators who are around to conduct a DNA test so that we really know exactly which country, which origin, and all that.
The clarion call from the customs is that all members of the public must join the vanguard to end trade in endangered species for the preservation of the ecosystem. In Lagos, Michael Alale, NTA News.
Those are the stories from this end. We will take another break. The network news will continue thereafter. Please stay with us.
The CEOs of tomorrow are already on ground. Nigeria's youth are active partners in nation building. Youths must strive to be heard. Youth is the power to make choices. Powerful voices will see the world differently and process it with divergent views. Join us at the National Youth Conference in October 2021. All roads lead to Abuja. 3 whole days at the confab. Youth delegates from the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT, having conversations centered on youth inclusiveness, peace, security, governance, and employment. It is time for us to emerge. Let the youth decide. The National Youth Conference is made possible by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and private sector partners.
When you wake up in the morning, before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. We always start our day with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals.
It is available in 90 naira only, with 10% extra inside.
Kelly Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow!
This na the story of Pekin wey rise to the max. Rain or shine, it not settle for less. Na the story of small boy wey get big talent. Home and away. Wait o, e be like say na the story of one man wey fall, but wey bounce back in style.
Osime, wetin dey motivate you? I want dey big, special and great.
Watching us live from Big Brother House Studio.
Joy for Osimhen and his teammates and chuck for him as well.
Let we enjoy Max Entertainment together.
Sports or movies, telenovela or cartoon, music or reality TV. With just 6,900 naira, you fit get your GoTV decoder plus 1 month Max subscription. Make you enjoy over 75 channels with day for GoTV Max. Make you and your special ones they enjoy better things on Max levels. GoTV, love it.
Iheanacho near post and scores.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will look to continue their excellent start to the World Cup qualifiers when they take on Leifove of Central African Republic. Will Leifove pull off a shock on the home soil of the Super Eagles? It's Nigeria versus Central African Republic at the Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of October, showing on the network service of the NTA and AIT from 4:30 p.m. with live radio broadcast on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporty.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles.
Glad to have you back. Now time for business news. Benny, 5G means faster internet and more business opportunities, which translates to more money. Do you agree?
Yeah, I quite agree with that. You know business. Well, welcome to business. For more on that, the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, says Nigeria is 97% ready for deployment of the 5th generation cellular network technology. MTN and Airtel are the two major operators that plan to secure a 5G spectrum license to deploy the technology. While MTN has already conducted a trial of the technology across its offices in the country, which was deemed successful, Airtel has also secured approval for trial. The Commission said it would assign 5 slots of the 5G spectrum. Among the capital markets, investors gained 246.79 billion naira as the all-share index appreciated by 1.18%. Market closed at 40,716.66 basis points, while equity capitalization is 21.2 trillion naira. 432.9 million shares valued at 3.1 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,377 deals. Market breadth closed positive as FBNH led 32 gainers as against 19 losers, topped by UPL. Just as Universal Insurance, FBNH, and Access were the most active to boost market turnover. Guarantee and Airtel Afrique topped market value list. That is business news. Yeri, it's over to you.
Many thanks, Benny. Let's now talk education. The Federal Ministry of Education has commenced the pilot implementation of the increase in retirement age to 65 or 40 years of service for teachers and education officers. This came to light as Nigeria joins the globe to mark 2021 World Teachers Day. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports.
The impact of COVID-19 on the education sector and attendant challenges faced by teachers to ensure effective delivery of education to all learners around the world prompted the choice of this year's theme. Teachers at the heart of educational recovery. They were challenged to appreciate the new normal, embrace the use of technology, build capacities, creative and innovative to meet the new normal.
I assure you that implementation of most of the targets in the repositioning of teachers will be achieved by January 2022. However, I want you all to know that teachers' welfare is paramount in the scheme of things, and negotiations are ongoing to ensure that your salaries are prioritized.
Any major outbreak to disrupt the school calendar. That was a major success recorded by this administration. We therefore call on federal, state and local government as well as private individuals to join hands and restore peace, order and peaceable coexistence to ensure safety of our schools and the school community for the good of our country.
This year's celebration is the first anniversary of the renaissance of the Nigerian teacher after the presidential pronouncement to reposition and revitalize the teaching profession last year. hence making it a memorable one.
Congratulations.
As usual, teachers that did well in their domain were duly recognized. Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs felicitates with Nigerian teachers on the occasion of the International Teachers' Day. A statement from the ministry quoted the minister saying they remember particularly teachers who lost their lives in their struggle to uphold the tenets of the noble profession during the crisis that ravaged parts of Nigeria as a result of insurgency, bandits, kidnapping, amongst others. It acknowledged the contribution of teachers to making the world better and reaffirmed the ministry's support to build safety nets that would enable women realize their potential and contribute maximally to nation building. To other issues now, stakeholders in the road sector have urged members of the public to disregard the myths associated with Ember Month as road traffic accident-prone period of the year. Rather, a period of utmost caution. This came to the fore at the Ember Month campaign flag-off organized by Federal Road Safety Corps, Osun State Sector Command. Balaji Akim reports.
The last 4 months of the year is associated with increased carnage on Nigerian roads. The myth has been severally disproved by road traffic enforcement agencies, including the FRSC, as mere speculation, but human factor from high level of vehicular movement and impatience to total disregard for road traffic regulations.
A lot of people are not patient when they drive because everyone is in a hurry at that period.
Governor Boyega Oyetola, while flagging off the Ember Months campaign, urged motorists to see the period as every other month of the year.
While our road officers must ensure observance of rules, all motorists must desist from engaging in any activity that could endanger lives.
This year, Ember Month campaign will incorporate religious and community leaders to ensure drastic reduction in road crashes. From Ile-Ife in Osun State, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Let's take a quick break. Please stay.
At 61, how far has Nigeria fared in its developmental strides, along with the challenges of nationhood? That's our focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week, with the 61st Independence celebration still in the air. Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. It promises to be incisive and educative. Join us.
With immense gratitude to Almighty God for a life of impact, the Foursquare Gospel Church announced the final home call of its former General Overseer, Dr. Wilson Badijo, who joined the Saints triumphant on Saturday, August 7, 2021, at age 74. The final burial ceremony kicks off with a special evening of tributes which holds on Wednesday, October 6, 2021, 5 p.m. at the Foursquare Gospel Church, National Headquarters, 6266 Akinwumi Street, Alagomeji, Yaba. A wake-keep will hold on Thursday, October 7th, 5 p.m. at the Foursquare Gospel Church. The funeral service will hold on Friday, October 8, 10 a.m. at the Jelili Omotola Multipurpose Hall, University of Lagos, Akoka, Yaba. All these events will be transmitted live on Foursquare TV, all Foursquare digital platforms, and WAP TV. Reverend Wilson Badijo is survived by his wife, Reverend Mrs. Olanyinka Badijo, children, grandchildren, and relatives. May his beloved soul find rest in the bosom of the Lord. Foursquare Gospel Church. Announcer.
Iheanacho near post and scores.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria will look to continue their excellent start to the World Cup qualifiers when they take on Lefauve of Central African Republic. Will Lefauve pull off a shock on the home soil of the Super Eagles? It's Nigeria versus Central African Republic at the Tesla Balogun Stadium in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of October, showing on the network service of the NTA and AIT from 4:30 p.m. with live radio broadcast on Cool FM, Wazobia FM and Nigeria Info. You can also join online at sporting.com and NPFL TV. The FIFA World Cup qualifiers are proudly brought to you by BetNiger and supported by MTN, Coca-Cola and Dettol, proud sponsors of the Super Eagles.
Let's have a bit of sports now with Badi Adeleye.
Many thanks, Yara.
Nigeria's Super Eagles had their first training session on Tuesday evening at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Lagos, ahead of Thursday's 2022 World Cup qualifier against the Wild Beast of Central African Republic. The training session, which had 22 players, lasted about an hour, with Coach Genotro and assistant Joseph Yobo putting the players through their paces. Sparta Rotterdam of Holland goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is the only player yet to arrive the team's camp. Moving on, despite making a missed meet of Central African Republic in the first leg of their 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier, Nigeria's Under-20 team, the Falconets, say they will not be carried away by the 7-0 mauling of their opponents when they face off in the second leg at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos, on Wednesday.
We are not coming to approach the match as if it was scored 7 already. We're coming to that match as if it's the match that gets us to qualify.
I promise to put smiles on every Nigerian faces and to make every Nigerian proud out there.
All is now set for the football final of the 2021 Southwest Games, built from Wednesday at the Remo Star Sports Complex, Ikene, Ogun State. The final encounter between Yabatek and Ibadan Polytechnic will be preceded by the third-place match between Laspotech and Saki. 12 sports have been featured at the Ogun 2021 Games, with participants drawn from tertiary institutions and security agencies in the southwestern part of the country. And that does it on sports. It's back to the area.
Many thanks, Buddy. Before we go, let's take a quick peep at the weather outlook for Wednesday.
Welcome to Wednesday's weather forecast. The satellite picture shows active weather systems over some parts of the central cities and most parts of the southern region. However, there's some developing systems coupled with the wind trajectory that are expected to give early morning thunderstorms to parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, parts of Kebbi in Bayelsa, leaving other parts in cloudy with sunny skies over the north. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, we expect a decent chance of thunderstorms over the southern states as well as most parts of the central region, including parts of Yelwa, southern Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, parts of Taraba, Adamawa, and southern Borno. I am Theodora Itu. Thank you for watching.
And that concludes Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching. Please remember, there is no excuse for rape. Speak up and take action. I'm Ian Ray John. Good night.
It took me 9 years, 4 months. But they put the place before I can get the license.